Good morning, friends. I hope you have gone through the previous chapters, summaries, the lectures which I gave. After that, you should go to the textbook, you should read, then again come back to the summaries given. That will be a help for you in your studies, and also read and try to understand the text. So today we go to the second poem, Elementary School Classroom in Islam. This poem, written by Stephen Spender, again deals with the same theme that we saw in chapter 2, Lost Spring. Children, those who are deprived of their education, children, those who lost their springtime due to inequality and social injustice. So, this poem deals with two things. First thing, social injustice and class inequalities. So, as you go through the description about the poet, in the last line, you should underline what is the main theme of the poem: class inequality and social injustice. So, the poet describes a slum classroom where one boy and a girl sitting there with way down head. His or her head is very heavy due to depression, due to malnutrition, due to various reasons. They have nothing to hope for their future. They are struggling in their life. Way down head. Secondly, there's a boy described as paper thin boy, very lean. His bones are seen outside. He is also a victim of malnutrition. And this poem also is filled with a lot of images, difficult words, very difficult to understand. So you should first listen to the summary, then again read the poem, see the word meanings, and try to understand. So in the first stanza, these two, one boy and a girl, are described. They are suffering from malnutrition, lack of food, and their siblings are poverty and unemployment. So they are a victim of poverty, victim of unemployment, illiteracy. All these are the causes that led them to lead such a miserable life. So the poet Stephen Spender introduces the first tall girl with way down head. Her head is evidently way down due to physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion. The other children in the class are also in a miserable condition. The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, implying that the boy is malnourished and weak, and his future is very bleak. Future is painted with the fog from day one until the end. From fog to endless night, as you go through the poem, you can see that there is a word used, from fog to endless night. Fog indicates darkness, night indicates darkness, means no hope. no hope for them in the future, nothing to dream for. So, such words are used in the poem to describe the situation of the students in the slum area. The student is unclear whether he is dreaming of a life in the future or is just distracted by the squirrel's game. This boy, unnoted, sweet, and young, may also represent hope for social change as his eyes dream of success. So, that is what is narrated in the first stanza. In the second stanza, the classroom is described. The expressions like sour cream walls, donations, and the Shakespeare's head, and the poet calls Shakespeare a wicked. Because Shakespeare stands for classical literature, father of English language and literature, his photograph is kept there in the class. But it is of no use to these children. These children need food, clothing, shelter, education, not big literature or language. So, irony is used in these lines. You know what is irony? Say one thing and mean the other. So, Shakespeare is called as wicked because it is of no use to these children. Secondly, the upper class, which constrict the children in a neat bracket of poverty, also offers them their only tools to escape. The maps and Shakespeare's head gives the students a bad example. That means a glimpse of the world beyond their dreary existence in the slum area. Through donations, what does it mean? The slum children are offered a glimpse of world outside. Secondly, unlike their foggy slum, see that word foggy, a narrow street sealed in the lead sky. This all shows that their future is at stake, at danger, or their future is not clear. In the third stanza, Spender questions the reality of the student's future. He raises the ironical questions. Is Shakespeare is wicked and the map a bad example? Because these given children ideas of escape from lead skies to sun-filled world and love for life rather than dread or disillusionment. All this shows that the children are stealing the luxuries of life. Why do people steal? When they don't have, when they are deprived of something, they try to steal. So children are away from the realities of life, away from the basic necessities of life. But here they try to steal the sheep, the sun, the daffodils. What does this it shows? Sun and sheep are the luxuries of life or the basic needs of life. They long to have that. They like to get that. Coming to the last stanza, Spender comes to a full circle. Hopelessness is replaced by hope, and pessimism is replaced by optimism. He is imploring governor, inspector, visitor to transform the temptation of the donations into reality. You see that stanza starting with unless the governor inspector. So he is exhorting the authority, government, the bureaucrats take necessary steps to solve the problems of these children. There is an urgency in his tone as he begs for a change that break or break open. You can underline that word, this last stanza, break or break open the windows. That means free the children from the constraints of their position in the society. Once out of the slums, the children can see green fields and gold sands. So the poet is telling us that we also should be aware of what is happening in the society, should be aware of the marginalized, the sufferings, the underprivileged group of the society. So that is the poem Elementary School Classroom in Islam. It speaks about, describes about such children who are deprived of education, who are the victim of social inequality and class inequality and social injustice. So each poem has got its own theme, its own message, its own characteristics. So what I said is only in a nutshell, in a very short summary. Listen to this and again read the poem. As you go through, you will have definitely doubts. This poem is one of the toughest poems in the textbooks. So we may take again, but this will help you to get an idea, get a first-hand knowledge about this poem. Elementary School Classroom in Islam. It is described about the children who are suffering, or children those who are studying in the slum classroom, or the classroom is also narrated there. Important questions like, what does the poet want for the children of slums? What do you think is the color of the sour cream walls? Then why Shakespeare is wicked? Map a bad example. What is the effect of the beautiful pictures on these children? What do the narrow streets symbolize? These are the important questions. Go through the questions, again go to the stanza, try to find out the answer. Contrast the imagery of the slum with the donations on the wall. It's a very important question. Contrast the imagery of slum with the donations on the wall. Answer is, the slum is described as dark and dim, where the children live on a slag heap. They have a foggy future. The course of life for them is narrow street with a lead sky that encloses on them. This is in contrast to the donations on the wall. Shakespeare's head symbolizes an enlightened mind and the countless bright skies, and the Trillos Valley contrasted with the foggy environment. Two different contrasts, two different things are contrasted in the poem. With that, I stop. go through the poem again, write down the questions, again try to find out the answer. Thank you.